go and leave. Anyway, time recalls all your life, 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 all your life. You can't believe that a match tipped gasoline has the power to lift you from this dream. What I thought to leave, no, I'll go and leave. Anyway, time recalls.
There's different theories with life. There's theories that when you die you go to heaven or hell.
Yeah.
There's people that think you're just worm food, you're dead, you're under the ground, 6 feet under, whatever. Then there's the people that believe in reincarnation, where you're born into a new life.
Yeah.
And I've heard different things saying like, well, what if the light you see at the end of the tunnel when you're dying is the light into a new life, therefore you're being born into a new life again.
Yeah. And like another thing, that makes a lot of sense too if you really actually think about
And
it.
the reason that babies cry when they're born is because they're sad that they're leaving their life that they had. Which goes with more theories of like stories from parents that little kids will say like, oh, I remember this. This was what happened before I died. And stuff like that. And those could be fake stories, but I don't know.
You just gotta think about it. I mean, if you like, you really, bro, you just really gotta think about it. Like, it makes sense. Like, right now, it probably doesn't make sense to you because, like, you probably don't want to actually believe it or whatever. But, like, if you think long and hard about it, like, it's gonna make sense to you. Like, no matter what. And, like, another thing, I feel like you shouldn't be afraid to die. Like, I feel like, if you die or whatever, like, you'll probably feel the pain for, like, a second. And then, it's like, this is nothing but skin. Like, everything you see is nothing but skin and flesh. Like, so let's say, like, oh, like, a girl's like, oh, he has a nice future or whatever. Like, he has nice hair. Oh, he has a good looking face. That's nothing but skin. Like, what's up underneath that? What does it matter? It's skin. Like, I feel like you shouldn't base anybody off their looks because, like, it only matters like what's in the inside, because this is nothing but skin, flesh, bone, or whatever. Like, what about like what's in the inside, like their soul and their like personality? I feel like that should count more than like, you know, their features or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't understand that. Girls is, oh, like, okay, like, you might be good looking or whatever, but still, like.
It is interesting.
That's how I feel like about all this stuff. I like what you put up in there, though. You just killed it. But another thing, like, you believe like there's other like well, not planets, but Earths or whatever.
Multiple.
Yeah. I feel like another thing. Did you know there's like 9 dimensions? There's like 9 dimensions, and it's like
and I mean, even without thinking in conspiracy ways, like, I've even thought of that before, like even as a kid, like, I'd think like, oh, what if I did this, or maybe there's a life where I did do this instead. I mean, there could be different Earths where you're living a life completely different than you have now. Like, there could be a whole Earth where I'm like a famous actor and living in Hollywood or something. There could be a whole Earth where I died and that happened.
That could be true. Like, everything's a theory, to be honest. Like,
what if, I mean, this is a little far-fetched too, but like, what if dreams you're having are like seeing into other dimensions and other worlds? I mean, like, if you really think about the fact that there's other things out there, because, like, there's people that don't even believe in aliens, but you can't tell me that there's all these other planets and there's not some other life especially with all these movies and things that have been made.
Yeah, like, bro,
If
like,
there's other dimensions and there's other...
Yeah, because, bro, like, the movies they make, like, they're basically telling you, like, what's happening, and we just go and watch those movies just because, like, there's a certain actor up in there, or, like, oh, I heard it's, like, really good, or, like, there's good ratings about it, and, like, oh, bro, I've been waiting for it to come out for long. Some of that stuff that you see in the movies has, like, either happened or it is going to happen. Like, they'll put it out purposely, but we'll go see the movie or whatever, and we'll just want to see it because, like, what's going on in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you go there and think about it long and hard and be like, wow, this is happening right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of people think about that. They just go and see the movie.
Right.
And that's it. So.
It's wild. Because there's definitely something else out there. I mean, how weird is it to think that, like, you know, like, there's all the little theories and, like, jokes and stuff that there's aliens on another planet. Like, what if there's another planet or, like, something out there and it's, like, a full place like this and they know Earth has these, like, alien creatures? Like, you know how, like, people say, like, oh, aliens are creepy, they look gross,
Right.
and all this stuff. Like, what if there's a whole other planet and they're like, oh my gosh, there's a whole planet full of humans,
Bro, okay, you know what?
and, like, they don't know what we are?
Bro, you know what? like, you know the time, you know when, like, Houston was flooded really bad?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was working at my other job, at the IPIC Theater or whatever. Bro, I was telling, like, I couldn't come in because I have family in Houston. We gotta go see them. Bro, we stopped by the gas station. We saw this woman, and my mom was like, hey, where y'all heading? Like, you know, where y'all going to somewhere safe? Bro, I kid you not. She looked at my mom and gave a freaking smirk, like, a evil smirk, like, it was so bad. My mom was like, oh no, she's an alien. She's something, because who does that?
Right.
Like, who gives, like, a smirk like that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, it was a smirk like you'll see in the movie, bro. My mom said, oh no, like, we gotta get out of here. So, like, she knows something that we don't know, you know? Because, like, she literally, the woman had her whole car packed, nothing but gas, saying, hey, we gotta hurry up and get out of here. Like, I don't know, it's just something that, you know, I should mention because what you said about, like, aliens.
Right. Because, I mean, it's scary to think about that you could be in a crowd with, like, 30 people.
Bro, that's
and, like,
concerts, bro. Like, Rolling Loud. Like, how do you know that's just, like, not regular humans?
Right.
I mean, it could be humans, too, but, like, how do you know it's, like, not
something
else? Like,
from another planet.
Yeah.
Not in our world.
Like, it could be, like, a lot of stuff, like, if you think about it. Like, that's one thing about conspiracy theories. Like, they're good to, like, listen to.
Mm-hmm.
But can you accept what we're, like, putting out?
Because, like, I'm trying to think about it too, like, with going with aliens and dreams. Like, have you ever had a dream where, like, something's chasing you and, like, you're scared in your dream?
Yeah.
Like, I've had dreams before, like, when I was younger, where I was at my grandma's house and it was, like, dark and empty, and I remember being scared and running and hiding from this thing. And I remember I used to have these dreams all the time where I would hide, and then, like, some creature would pop out and get me, and I'd wake up. What if that's, like, a creature from another world trying to reach out to you?
Reach out to, like, try to get your attention, like, something's going on, not really trying to hurt you, but trying to get your attention.
Mm-hmm.
That could be something.
Some people didn't understand how and why she did that. If you think she was killed or she just died over an accident, that is your thing to believe in. I actually love hearing all the different views because I find it interesting, and for me to know something, I like to hear everything before I choose what I think. So the other death is the death of Natalie Wood. She is well known, but her death has always had weird questions into it. So she died when her husband and 3 or 2 other friends, they were on a boat, and what it was supposed to be what documents say, that it was an accident and that she fell off the boat and drowned. But there was so many weird holes in this story that it was just really, it didn't make sense, because she actually had a really big fear towards the dark open water, and that was actually well known. And so knowing that like she fell in and drowned to her worst fear, it just doesn't make sense. And even her sister who was trying to find out what had happened knew that she wouldn't put herself in a situation to accidentally fall. She know her sister would be safe because it is just a huge fear of hers. Like really put something in and trusted the witnesses on the boat was they were very drunk, and they they were just from dinner and they were drinking and all that stuff. But there are just some things that each of them said that didn't make sense, because sometimes the stories kind of aligned, but then there was differences. And it always led back to her husband, because all of them told them that her and her husband got into a fight that night on the boat. And they heard screaming and all this and like all these things. And then the next morning, night, day, she was found dead. And when they found her, when they looked at her body, there was other mysterious bruises throughout her body that couldn't have happened during the drowning or her death. They were there before she died. So now they might believe that her husband was abusing her. So then there's another rumor that one of her friends, who was also a famous actor that she worked with that was also on the boat, was there, and supposedly that caused conflict with all three of them, the friend, the husband, and her. And I don't remember exactly how it led to her death, but supposedly all of them were fighting. And then one of them on the boats confessed later on, saying that when they confessed it, they were drunk, so it's not a reliable thing, so they weren't too sure. She fell in, and she was struggling and everything, and the husband said to the friend to leave her there. She needs to learn her lesson. And the friend was just in shock. And then once he finally said, okay, we'll finally get her now, even she had already died. Which is weird, because he didn't forcefully put her in the water, but he let her drown. He didn't do anything, and the friend was just in shock, so he didn't know what to do.
Like, I mean, usually when I see something like that in my dream, I just take off running, like,
Yeah.
and like you said, like, if it catches you, you wake up immediately, like, same thing that happened to me once. And like, I had this one dream, I'm not gonna tell y'all this, but it's gonna be for like another episode. I really don't want to like tell you guys because it was like a bad experience. It's like when I was like really, really little, and I probably was like maybe 14, 15 years old. But I think you guys will like it. You guys might think I'm crazy, but it really, really shook the mess out of me, dude. But it'll be a good episode for the next time I tell it. But other than that, like, it's weird. I mean, it's not weird, but if you like think about it long and hard about like what if or whatever,
Yeah.
it'll make sense. Because again, like, it's just like the Matrix, dude. It's nothing but the Matrix. Like, how do you know that the Earth is like intact right now? You wouldn't know, because like we have a veil over our eyes that we can't like actually see. Like, we're blind because like I said before, like when we came out, I feel like the Most High put like a veil over our eyes to the point we couldn't like see what's actually going on, because it would like freak us out. And like, you know, like everything will be like demolished. Like, it wouldn't be no Earth.
Right.
So like, what if like this is so-called Earth, but like it's not the real Earth? What if there's like the real Earth, but other people on that Earth?
Right. And like something that I just thought of, like, you know how like people believe in ghosts and spirits, and like say like when there's a spirit nearby it gets colder, or like sometimes you'll walk in an area and it gets like really hot or really warm there.
And like, what about like when you
like what if that's you not being able to see what's really there? Like maybe you just walked outside of something.
Or a portal.
I mean, like right now, like we're in a parking lot behind a Walmart. There's a wall up here. Like there could be like a whole crowd of people just standing around here, and we're like parked at some building in another world. We could be in the middle of a field somewhere.
Wait, what if this is like just some like, bro? I feel like this is nothing but a movie for us. Like, I feel like we're our own actors in like our own movie right now.
Right.
What if like there's someone just like you said, outside this car, like looking at us? Like, how could it not be a movie? See, or like a show to them. Like, does that make sense? Like,
I mean, every life is a different movie, and you're the point of view for the movie. They're following your story.
That's how I feel like how everything is right now.
I mean, it could also be similar to like The Sims or something. You're the character, they create your life and everything that you do.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It can be like a lot of things, like, bro, like with actors, like I feel like they're nothing but clones. Like, that's how I feel like, because there's no way.
Because like you can even look it up too. You cannot like look up actors and actresses clones, and like there's gonna be like pictures of like an actor from now, and then like some person from like the 1800s.
Bro,
and they look the exact same.
Yes, like
there's one. There's two that look really similar to me. There's one of Justin Timberlake and Eddie Murphy. If you look at those, they look the exact same. It's like them and then someone from like the 1800s.
Bro, like,
it's crazy.
I mean, I believe you. Like, it's just so like a lot to think about. It's just like, if you like have time on your hands, you just gotta think about it, like, real long and hard. Because like, when I'm like writing my books, I'll like think about like, you know, conspiracy, like, oh, how can I put this in my book, or how can this work out? But another thing, I am writing a book, and it does have Michael, and it has Ariel in it so far, and I'm trying to get it published. I just need a really, really good, not a title, but like a design for the book or whatever. I'm really trying to get that published. I have like a lot of stories. We Fallen, Flight 49. What else is there? Beyond Brothers. I have like a lot of stories, dude. But back to conspiracy theories. This is not real. Like, I feel like you should not be afraid to die. Like, I know it sounds stupid, and I know people's gonna miss you or whatever. And like, it's gonna be like a lot of weeping, even if you have a funeral. But I feel like you're gonna see that person again, you know. But yeah, I still believe like there is a heaven and a hell. But let's say if you're reincarnated into something else, but later on, like, you know, you're gonna meet like your maker sooner or later. You know, it's just waiting for like the right time that somebody's.
I think there's a heaven and hell. I just don't think it's how people describe it. Like, I don't think it's a fiery hell. or a bright, cloudy, white
Yeah.
heaven, like how TV shows and movies describe it. Like, I do think there's something out there, like an afterlife, whether it's heaven, hell, reincarnation, or a simulation, or what it is. There's something out there.
I believe 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like people don't think like a lot of people like slowly people are like waking up. When I say waking up, I don't mean like the veil of like your eyes waking up. I feel like they know what's like going on nowadays. And, like a lot of people don't want to speak about it because like they'll think, oh yeah, oh they think I'm crazy. Like, bro, don't worry about what people think of you, dude. They just don't know who you are. So like I really don't care what people think about me at all. Like you can ask like a lot of people I hang out with, like I don't care what people think. So that's just me. I know Michael's the same way. So
Yeah. And that's pretty much a lot.
it's like
Hopefully that didn't depress any of you. They're gonna go home and cry.
yeah, I hope so. But we don't mean to scare y'all. It's just something that
And let me go ahead and put that out there. None of these are proven true. They're just conspiracies.
it is. It really
These are
is
just
like
theories that we've heard or people have told us.
bro,
We're not saying any of them are true.
Yeah, like what Michael says. And bro, another thing, do you know we have a third eye?
Really?
We have a third eye. Apparently it's like right here. It's just that you gotta learn how to like awaken it. Like you can't, like with me, I've tried meditating and I've tried like opening up my third eye and it's really bad. Like don't try and do it, like force it. It can happen, but don't try to force it because you'll get like a bad energy, a bad vibe out of it, and like you'll have like nightmares like crazy. So like don't try and do it. It'll do it on its own. But yeah, we do have a third eye, believe it or not. So
It's weird when you say that. I feel like there's something up there.
Yeah, because like we have a third eye. It's just, I mean, you probably can't like see it, but we do have a third eye. Like, just want to put that out there. That is real, by the way. And there's facts proven. So I'm just letting y'all know. You can go on the internet. You can look up people that's like said they have opened up their third eye. Bro, it's really true. But don't try and force it because when you force it, like bad stuff comes out of it when you force it. So let it do its on its own. When you realize, like, when you know your third eye is open, you'll start seeing clearly, and you will get headaches and migraines, and that's one way you'll know it's open. Like if you get like a little twitch in your forehead, that's a like no.
All right, so if you guys remember when me and Ariel and Emma and Luke filmed the technology video, we talked about how the camera stopped on its own, turned to photo mode, and then flipped the other way. It did it again.
It did do it again, like bro.
It only does it when we're filming, talking about conspiracies.
Bro.
So whoever my FBI agent in there that knows about it,
Bro,
I think we're catching on to something.
We are catching on to something, and
like we said, these aren't true. These are just conspiracies.
So
none of these are proven true.
don't come after me and like Luke.
Yeah, don't come after us.
You're too young right now. You're too young. That's a good.
There's other people you can go after, not us. We'll give you their names, but like there's this one guy that we're friends with at work. His initials are BS. You can take him out. I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Don't take us out, please.
Yeah.
Don't
Don't do anything.
Don't, please don't. I got a job. I got people I gotta support. So please don't. You know, it's a conspiracy thing. It's most people are not gonna think like they're telling the truth. I mean, if you do think that,
Right.
more power to you.
And I mean, you can even go back and watch where it ended. Like no one else is in the car. We didn't click it to end for dramatic effect or anything.
Yeah, I should have my camera. But yeah, you gotta stay on the lookout now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's pretty much it.
Bro, that's freaking crazy. And I kid you not, we are not making this up. The camera literally just.
And I mean, you can go back and watch episode 2 as well. I mean, Ariel and me,
have no
Luke and Emma.
button.
I mean, nobody clicked it. No one else was in the room then. No one was in the car then, besides us. They're on to us. Alright, this is the video.
Just can't stop it. And now you wanna take it on a field trip, trying to make her feel it, talking about the birds and the bees. Oh, she's such a little tease, yeah. So tell me, can we talk about the gun in your pocket? So tell me, can we talk about the gun in your pocket? So tell me, can we talk about the gun in your pocket?
Shortcut to quick bucks, working all the time, renting out your mind and saving every dime. Because in 10 of those combined, they cross a sacred line and go from pocket change